in my experience over the last sort of 15 years, God-honouring, life-giving, harm-free church, harm-free ministry. Ministry that's God-honouring, that lifts God up, not ourselves. Ministry that gives life to everyone that comes into our church. And ministry that does no harm. That is the focus, and that is the heart behind all of the policy and procedures. That we would truly be God-honouring, life-giving in our interactions, life-giving in our policy and procedures. But we'd also, by extension of that, do no harm. The practical outworking of that is really as we fulfil our responsibilities to people. We've got our responsibilities that are pastoral, legal, organisational, and also risk management. It's kind of like wearing 4 hats all at once. The pastoral hat, our heart for people, how we care for them. But also in tricky issues, we might have to think about the law and how that intersects, and how do we wear our legal hat while we're still wearing our pastoral hat. And then what about our organisational hat, the policy in child protection, and how do we wear the policy and the procedures and still wear our pastoral hat? And then there's going to be risks that we need to manage, because we're not just the body of Christ, we also are the body of Christ actually in action in organisations. So if we think about the overview and the foundations of a safe church, what underpins all of those safe spaces, I like to call my safe church house here. Things like God's love, the gift of boundaries, team ministry, duty of care, fulfilling our organisational responsibilities in accountable and transparent ways. That's a safe church. The why do we do what we do in our policy and procedures, in our guidelines? The why really comes from God's love. See, a safe church doesn't begin with us. A safe church, our motivation for safe churches is actually that God first loved us. And beyond that, it's that God is love. If God is a triune, Father, Son and Spirit, God's never been alone. God has always had community. That agape love, that self-giving love that the Father and the Son and the Spirit have experienced forever is what He invites us into. And that's church. That's the family of God. So if love is the centre, then our policy and our procedures are an expression of that love. It's not just because the law tells us to. It's not just because it's a good idea to. It's because when we reach out, we want to reach out with the love that we've experienced in God. So